Hello, I'm Lee Higginbotham. Today we're here to talk about a pole saw, or some people might call it a chainsaw on a stick. The first thing I'd like to discuss when operating this product is always refer back to the owner's manual for your proper operation, safety, and preventative maintenance on these products. If you do not have them, you can usually obtain them at the local service dealer, or possibly if they're a reputable manufacturer, you can go online. First, we're going to talk about products that you need for safety. And if you'll notice, since this is an extended pole saw that is going to be operating over my shoulder length, I'm going to have a hard hat on at all times. The second thing that you would need to use, obviously, is a pair of safety glasses, because when you're running a chainsaw above your head, the sawdust will be coming straight down into your eyes. Next thing that you need to use are some form of earplugs to protect your hearing. When you're using these products, it's also not a bad idea to use some type of dust mask, because all of the sawdust is coming right down in your face and breathing it. That's going to cover most of the safety aspects of running this product. The next thing we're going to talk about is the mix or the oil that you're going to put into the engine when running it. When you're selecting your gasoline, we recommend that you use an 89 octane. The next thing that we recommend that you do with the ethanol and fuel today is to buy some form of ethanol fuel conditioner treatment. Ethanol today is probably the single number one service issue that we see at a service center in outdoor power equipment. The next thing we're going to move into is a little bit of service of the engine of an extended pole saw. The first thing we're going to talk about is the spark plug. The spark plug in a product like this, if you're a consumer, should be replaced and checked about once a year. The air filter, which is mounted on this model right here, should be checked and serviced at least once a year. Unless you're running extended hours, you may need to check it every 2 years. In terms of cleaning the product, it is heated and cooled through these vents, so it's going to attract dust and dirt or mud. Clean it with a paintbrush, just dust it off. An air hose if it's available. If it's not, you can always resort to a hose pipe and wash it. But if you do wash it, we ask that you be careful. Make sure the engine is cooled off. When you're through washing it, crank it up and let it run for a few minutes so we get all the water off of the engine. The next thing that we're going to discuss is the cutting attachment. Since there is a chainsaw on the end of this extended unit, it has bar oil that goes right there to lubricate the chain. And it is important that you use bar oil, not engine oil, to lubricate the bar and chain. Just like we discussed in the previous session with chainsaws, you have to adjust the chain on this. It has a quick adjustment here. The chain should slightly be able to pull down. You do not want it to sag, and you don't want it to have it too tight like a guitar string. And with chainsaws, you're going to constantly be adjusting the chain. It's just something that's always going to take place and something that you always need to be aware of when running it. How often should you clean this area? Well, for a consumer, if you work outside with it maybe 2 solid days, you probably should remove the bar, take a small flathead screwdriver, clean out this groove, remove this cover, get the sawdust out. You can use an air hose, you could use a wire brush or a paintbrush, clean it up and then put it back together, readjust the chain. And that's going to cover the service portion of using a pole saw. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about operation on it. When operating an extended pole saw, as you see this model, I'm 6 foot tall, is taller than me. They make some models that extend 13 and 16 feet. Well, obviously we had discussed earlier sessions when operating cutting units above your shoulder, you must wear a hard hat. The next kind of hidden secret when you're running a pole saw is this is a relatively small engine. So when you go to cut a limb, you don't want to apply a lot of pressure on the saw. You want to have the engine at full RPM and just let the chainsaw cut at gravity until the limb continues to be removed. That is going to cover your operation, your safety, and your preventative maintenance on an extended pole saw.